Well, with the few minutes we have left before we close here, I'd love to do maybe a quick round robin and hear from everyone, a bit more personal, or it can be a bit more personal if you're open to it. What's something that you have really learned very deeply during this time? And if that's not popping in your mind, you can also talk about maybe a learning that one of the leaders that you're working with or that you support or partner with has learned very acutely. Just a personal learning this year that's been powerful for you. John, let's start back with you.
Yeah, sure. I'd probably two. One is I think I have learned that you can do just about anything virtually. And I've done like things that I never thought I would be able to do virtually. Very intense things, actually. And the second one escapes me.
Come back to it. Give me a finger or something.
I'll come around. It'll come back around.
Perfect. Next on my screen, Julie, if you don't mind, or sorry to put everyone on the spot here by calling you out, but if you have some thoughts ready.
I would say for me personally, in the leadership capacity of the importance of taking care of myself and to be centered and ready to help not only the leaders, but the entire organization and my own team. And what those kind of things that I need throughout the day or week to make sure that my energy and focus is there. So that was a real affirmation of some of the self-care that everyone talks about that has really been important and helped me through this last several months. Thanks.
Amazing. And something we probably have all felt guilty about focusing on in the past now has become essential. Carrie, you're next on my screen if you don't mind.
Sure. For me, it's just been the amazing resilience that I've seen in the organization and in our team members. You know, certainly while we may have had some inklings that we were going to be in this phase back in January and February, when it really hit, people's ability to switch and to still remain focused, but also to step in for others and recognizing that everybody has something going on in their lives and making sure that they were there for their peers, making sure they were there to do the right thing in our world by the patients, making sure we were, you know, still meeting our objectives, but recognizing that they were there to help solve problems, even while they were also dealing with their own circumstances. And again, as an organization, our ability to be nimble and pay attention to those nuances for employees. So the resilience has just been phenomenal and amazing as we've gone through this.
Karina.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to take it even a step deeper. You know, I think one of the things that I've recognized, and I think we all know this from our own lives, is that when we're kind of faced with the unimaginable, that we actually figure out how to put it in a place in our brains and our hearts and keep moving on for other people, for the business, for patients, for our family. And it's just another recognition, because what has happened is unimaginable for many of us, right? And we are just like, and to almost normalize it and, you know, to just say, we're going to put it in a place where it needs to be and be resilient. You know, I have 2 of my kids graduated this year, one from college, one from high school. Don't let anyone fool you, by the way. The college, without a good economy to come out into, we'll figure that out. The high school situation, and now with what's happening with colleges, is unimaginable. And what you have to do to really quickly say, how are we going to manage this and what's right for an individual person? It requires you to take that unbelievable thing that's happening and put it somewhere and say, let's solve the problems that we have on a day-to-day basis. And I think we're doing that at work, we're doing it at home. And I think we're going to come out of this in a year or 2 and just look back. And we're already, by the way, I think looking back on March and recognizing it as a very different time than what we realized it was. And I think, to me, that's just the biggest lesson for us, for at least me, but I think for many people I know.
Thank you. Liz.
Yeah, pull on the thread that all of my colleagues have shared. Personally, the self-care, I know in order for me to be my best in service of the leaders that I'm working with or the nonprofit that I volunteer with virtually now, it is absolutely critical that the things that get me grounded to bring my best self needs to happen. So it's not a nice to have, it's a must have, because I don't have the resilience to serve in the capacities that I want to. I think I would echo what has been shared as well. I think the creativity and the support that's being provided to employees from leaders and the empathy. I am seeing people being able to bring their authentic self to work, and truly, like, home and work is now blended. And I believe we're going to look back on this time and see we are able to tap in because people are no longer compartmentalized. Pets are welcome on the calls, children are welcome. This is life and we are all in it. There is no one that doesn't have something happening. So that integration and that authenticity that can show up, I think will give people more capacity to navigate. And so it's been really beautiful to see in such challenging times with COVID, with the social injustice, just what is being birthed. I think it will be something we look back on and say, wow, I can't believe we used to do it this way. I hope it doesn't. I hope the integration stays and the access to people's creativity and their whole self is possible.
It's coming together just to converse,
Mm-hmm.
not as part of human resource, whatever society, not as part of just different people who don't know each other, saying, hi, here's what I'm learning, thinking. So I had a good time.
More.
Amazing session.
Yeah.
I'll close out just by giving so much gratitude to this group. I am leaving. I'm literally like buzzing. I can hardly sit down because I'm just so inspired and so grateful to be connected with you all and have this opportunity to hear from you all. And I know anyone who listens to this will likely share in my enthusiasm. And thank you so much for all that you do for your organizations and keeping these companies healthy and successful.